Hey guys, this is Jason Blankensop from RuenWorx. I'm going to be making a dragon. I've already cut and welded some pieces. This piece is going to be a foot for the dragon. This is a piece of chromoly. It was a piece of tube like this off of a motorcycle front fork. This is the front of a shopping cart that held the wheels on. These are going to be the claws. After a lot more grinding, this is what I got for the claws. Ground off the galvanizing and rounded off the tops of them. So now what we're gonna do is weld them on like so. Got a stainless bar, and I'm going to weld them on here for his legs. What I'm gonna do is weld the spoon onto here, bend another one, weld it onto there, keep on going. This is all I'm doing to the spoons. Putting them in the vise, smashing them. So I cut 4 of them out of the saw blade. Now I'm going to weld them onto the legs. Measuring chainsaw blade out and cutting it with a bolt cutters, and I'm going to weld it to his leg right here. I'll show you how I'm doing that. That one's going to be about yay long. So I got it over here. I got the bolt cutters vice grip down to the table. It's not an exact science. There we go. Alright. The size you need, and then I will be welding it on. Here's how it looks after I welded on all the chainsaw chain. For his torso, I found a piece of bike that I cut off. This is a Walmart bike, so it's made out of steel. So I'm gonna cut this to the appropriate length and weld this on. But this is gonna be holding a lot of weight. It's gonna be holding the head, the wings, the arms. So I can't just weld it here and expect it to hold all that weight. It's gonna have a tail also to help balance it a little bit, but I'm gonna fill this up with some gas pipe. I'm gonna stick those in there, weld those solid in there, and stick this on top of there, and then weld these to the gas pipe. So that'll be able to take a lot more weight. This slides down. Alright, so the top of this guy is too long, so I'm gonna end up cutting 2 inches off of him. I don't know if you can tell, I welded this bar back on, but I took 2 inches out of it. So it was standing that much higher. I think it looks better. I'm gonna have to figure out his tail and his wings in order for me to get the rest of his torso on. So we're moving on to his tail. Alright, I'm going to be using this thing for the scales for the tail. I think this is a laundry cart. Alright, so after cutting up that laundry cart, well, half of the laundry cart, I got a bunch of these, which I'm gonna now sand off the burrs off of them. I tacked the tail onto the guy right now, and I've also tacked it to this plate right here, because in order to put the scales on, they're gonna need to be fed on from this side first. So I have to tack it to this plate, so I could take this guy off and feed them on from this side, and then weld them each on individually. And put them on from here, and then weld the tail onto this guy. All right, I decided against these because I found a saw blade that's kind of the same radius as these. So I'm gonna cut the saw blade out. There's his neck bone. All right, so I don't like the size of his thighs. I think they're a little too skinny. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make them fatter with a saw blade. I'm gonna try and thicken them up. I'm gonna have to use the cutoff wheel in order to do that. Because the bandsaw blade will just break if I try and cut this hardened piece of metal with the bandsaw blade. Oh shit, I'm gonna weld the saw blades onto the back of his thighs like so. Took a bicycle rotor and I cut it straight across. Let's get this piece out of it, and then I'm going to weld it here. Try and bulk up his thighs a little bit, make him look a little more muscular. I'm thinking I'm gonna make a little diamond coming off of the end of the tail right here. I don't know if I'm gonna put a ball bearing in it or not. But what I'm gonna do is make 4 pieces. I'm gonna weld the rod on here at this angle, then bend it to meet in the middle. Alright, I'm going to use MAP gas first to try and heat these things up to bend them. Alright, oxyacetylene it is. I'm gonna cut the tops off so they're all even, smash them together, and then weld them all together. Alright, that's what it looks like finished. Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm cutting out one of these triangles, and then I'm going to put a spoon behind it, and this is going to be an eyeball with the dragon. This is a bicycle rotor. There's a piece of chrome pipe that I'm gonna cut for his nose. I am going to now weld onto this bar to start making his face. So these will be basically his eyes. So what this was a straight tube. It was a straight tube like that. I cut it on an angle. And I'm gonna weld them like that. I'm gonna weld them together like that. And then that is going to make his nostrils for his nose. He's gonna have some cheeks made out of the sponge. Some more spoons like this. What I did was cut a couple fangs out of it. I just sanded that on the belt grinder and cut that off. What I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna weld that on there like that. I don't really want to use any other scrap that I have laying around, so I found the saw blade that I have been slowly cutting the teeth off of, and now it's just a piece of plate. I cut all the teeth off of it and used it on the dragon. I cut a template for his jaw out of paper. So what I think I'm gonna do is cut the jaw out of the saw blade, weld them onto him, so we will have a jaw for this guy. Yes. Unfortunately, I cannot use the bandsaw on this saw blade because this thing is hardened and it will just destroy the bandsaw blade, so I have to use a cutoff wheel. This is an aluminum plate that weld doesn't stick to, and this is a chainsaw blade turned backwards. This is the cutting edge that cuts the wood, and this is where the gears go. But I'm turning it backwards, and I'm going to weld the cutting edge to the bar so that the gear edge looks like its teeth. This is a piece of luggage rack from a motorcycle that I will be using for the horns. Off camera, I placed eyelids on this guy and welded a plate to the bottom of them because I'm gonna found some of this stuff, and I'm gonna use this for his neck. His old neck was on here, I didn't like it. I'm gonna use this stuff for his new neck, and I'm gonna see how I like that. so these pieces that I cut are for the arms. You can see I finally got the wings on. I decided to not mess with those right now because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. So I moved on to the arms. I don't know if you noticed, I cut one longer and one shorter. The longer one's for the bicep, the shorter one's for the forearm. And then the hand will go on that, or the claws will go on that. Alright, this is a piece of a front of a shopping cart. This is where the front wheels went on the bottom of the shopping cart. This is about a 1/4 inch thick piece of steel. I'm gonna cut the claws out of this. And this is a piece of garage door opener. This is also about a 1/4 inch thick piece of steel. And this is going to be the palms of the hands. These are the claws that I cut out of the shopping cart base. What I'm going to do now is heat them up so I can bend them so they make more of a claw. Here's the end result after I took it out and quenched it. I just got to do that to 6 more. So what this is a motorcycle chain that I just cut from this bigger chain. I had to wire wheel it because it looked like this, so I had to wire wheel it to get all the rust off. You know, I'm gonna weld it to his shoulders. I don't really like welding rusty stuff to these guys because they're so shiny. So here's the guy standing on the floor. I don't like his wings, so I'm cutting those off. And what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna use that chair right there and try and make these wings into chrome. But here's how he looks when he's sitting on the floor. Alright, I'm bending this pipe around this other piece of pipe for his horns on, for his horns on his wings. We'll see if this works. I might just bend this pipe because this pipe is off a bicycle and it's pretty thin. I was too lazy to find some thicker pipe, so we'll see how this works. adding supports to the wings because when I add the rest of the wing, it's going to need some support to keep it from collapsing. That's why I didn't add any spoons back here, because I knew I was going to have to support the wings somehow. So I left that open so I can weld the supports to it. And then I'm going to add probably spoons going up here. These pieces right here came off of the same chair that these came off of. So that chair came in real handy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lace this guy with butter knives. So I cut this on some pretty severe angles in order to make it fit right here. And this will also act as a stabilizer for the wing. Help keep it from also falling apart, but it's also decorative. So I'm going to tack both of these guys on right now. I just spent hours cutting butter knives at angles so they can all fit on here. Now I'm going to start tacking them all up. Butter knives are going to go like this. You like it. These are going to be the claws for the wings on the back of the wings. I put claws on the top of the wings. I'm going to try something different on this. I'm going to heat them up here and then try and pound them over. Last time I put the pipe in the vise and pounded them over, but it didn't work so hot. I just got lucky. So this time I'm going to try something else. See how lucky I get with this. Well, that'll have to do. I'm gonna cut those and turn those into claws. Alright, so this base plate came from a scrapper also. This is a piece of stainless steel. I'm not sure what it came off of, but it's the perfect size to meet the 3 points of contact for this guy. His feet and his tail. It ended up being the perfect size for the base plate. I'm also going to be welding on. This nameplate. What I'm doing now is I am putting lacquer thinner all over it to degrease it and to get all the oils off and to get all the smoke residue off from the welds. I'm going to clear coat them. What I'm going to use is 2 times Rust-Oleum clear coat. I've used lacquer before and it just turns the chrome gray. So I found that this works the best. It keeps the chrome shiny. I'm going to dump about 2 cans of this on it. It'll keep all the welds from rusting. Because because this thing is probably going to be sitting outside in the elements. I clear coat all of my sculptures. Okay, here he is, all finished. With recording him, he took about 95, 96 hours. If I wasn't recording, he probably would have took about 75 to 80 hours. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way he turned out. There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't sure about going through the process. I mean, the wings were unexpected, but they turned out really awesome. They'll be for sale on my website. Thank you very much. This is Jason from RuenWorx. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. Have a good day.